Xivu Arath draws strength from our conflict. She believes her logic absolute. I will grasp it and contravene its power. There is no other way.
Will you come back from this?
Does it matter if I do? What I am has served me, and has served humanity.
Aga, Zita, Sen. This is what Savathun wants.
We serve our interests, not Savathun's.
She's outmaneuvered you again. You need me!
We need your silence. Do not be afraid. Bear witness to my sublimation. I separate the true from the dead. I am the many-mouthed hunger. I am the knife-edged truth. I devour the free. I conspire with my vengeance. I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist. Hayat! Hayat! Hayat!
Bring me your tithes.
Guardian, though my form twists in this rune-bound circle, I remain Eris Morn, given not to the deep, but to vengeance. The Hive have taken much from me. By naming the worms, I have taken from them. And I must take from you. The splinter of Hive Worm rests in your staff. It is enough to bind us and mark you as my acolyte. By the sword logic of the Hive, your conquests strengthen me. You must tithe mightily if I am to become strong enough to defeat Xivu Arath. She draws power from all conflict. She is the Blade Breaker, War, Drinker, Conqueror, Immortal. Hayat, drown her in blood. Add your voice to the chorus of violence. Let us show her what it is to be Hive.
It's hard not to feel that this is my responsibility. While we in the tower gathered intel and debated over what action to take next, Eris threw herself into a dangerous ritual of her own devising. She was audacious. And she was right. We had to accept Savathun's bargain. We must pursue the witness at any cost. But I didn't imagine we would risk Eris in the exchange. She remains herself. I recognize Eris when I look into her eyes. She wears her new form like a suit of armor, but she speaks of whispers calling to her from the deep, and I have no assurance she can resist them forever. You must embrace the Hive rituals as she did. Offer your tithes so that she may gain the power she desires, and quickly. Commit yourself to her, Guardian. I believe it is in everyone's best interest to keep her metamorphosis as brief as possible.
Greetings, Guardian. I am focusing my will, preparing myself to step into the ritual space once again. When I first transformed, I thought I might become something greater. Instead, my doubts fell away and I found myself simplified. refined. Though I became Hive, I was more... myself. I mentioned that to Ikora, and she furrowed her brow. I told her she would have time to worry later. But now, I need tithes. Sword logic may be high philosophy, but your tithes of power are real. And when I absorb them, it feels like hope. Fight in my name, Guardian. Every opponent you defeat strengthens me, from Shax's crucible to Savathun's own throne world. The Hive believe that only the strongest have earned their existence. If a queen cannot hold her power, she must be betrayed. I will not deny them their dogma. I will embody it. The sword logic. The impetus of the Hive. Oryx, the Taken King, brother to Savathun and Xivu Arath, sought whispers from the worms of Fundament and dredged this truth from the deep. All things must prove their right to exist. The rest will die in terror. There is neither escape nor exemption. Simple, essential, beautiful to know. Oryx led his sisters down the bladed path. We have tested ourselves against horrors. We emerge changed. Through this, we become stronger. We become free. We will avail ourselves of our enemy's tools. Xivu Arath believes every death proves the sword logic. That she unveils the false shape of the Traveler's lie by her blade. But she needs her truth. She is desperate for its vindication. She wishes for a world without grief, or pity, or doubt. Not baleful, not beautiful. A childish cry. The Hive call us liars, the unfree, deniers of the all-edged truth. But I take the power the sword logic offers not out of desperation, but desire. For Crota. Oryx. Savathun. I wield their killers as a knife. The Hive know this truth as well as any logic. I am here, and they are not. Ayat.
I heard you Guardians got a lesson in sword logic today. You think you can defeat Xivu Arath with philosophy? Right. Let me show you something. Savathun kept records, and I took a look at what she had on her sister. Got a recording from way back, just after you Guardians drop-kicked Oryx into Saturn's orbit. Call it a primary source for your little research project.
Our brother is dead. I will take my revenge as he sought for his son.
Revenge? For what? The dead deserved to die. That's your own logic. Oryx was a hypocrite, and so are you.
He loved us. He made of our deaths a study. And she, who has endured, who sharpened the sword of his defeat, has done the same.
spoiled you rotten. Not everyone wants to be like you. And you won't always get your way.
I will test my strength against her brood, and she will prove our logic true.
Do you see what you Guardians did? Do you see what's happening here? Xivu Arath thinks Eris is one of them, some kind of heir to Oryx. That ritual of hers tied a pretty bow on that theory. This is all part of Savathun's plan. But I can't help wondering, what the hell does Eris think she's doing?
Hey, Eris. Heard we have some, strange bedfellows. Though, if a bedfellow ain't strange, then they're probably not worth having.
So it seems. Have you come to urge caution? To advise against temptation?
Nah, you know what you're about. But I'm wondering, what's it like?
It begins as a feral surmise, a suspicion. I hear whispers, but they are in my voice. It rises until I am screaming. I make a demand. An atavistic fear now sublimated into a singular, desperate urge. A hunger I must endlessly sate. But the Hive are not afraid. They are awestruck. They know that I am vengeance, and they have conjured me back with vengeance.
Ooh, sounds like a wild ride.
I seek to subvert the Hive's flawed logic. I may only do so because of what I am, and what I am not. It is a wild ride.
Hey, I'll be there when you're on the other side of this.
As will I. Trust.
Surprise, sunshine. Thought I'd hack this old holotech and say hello. I don't like this whole let's work together plan, but I don't have to. I've got my orders. Let me play something for you.
Imaru, if I am indisposed, bide your time. The witness will force the Vanguard's hand eventually, and they'll realize they need information only I possess. One of them will be open to a bargain. Not Mara again, poor dear. More likely Ikora, or her gloomy little hanger-on Ares. Give them any help they ask. It'll all be worth it in the end. And tell them something clever, to make them think that this was their idea.
You get all that, Guardian? Savathun wants me to give you the soft sell. But that's not really my style. So, go ahead. Bust up the throne world. Get as strong as you like. Tithe to Eris until she's fat as a tick. It's all part of Savathun's plan. Oh, you need any help digging your own grave? Just let me know.
Beloved acolyte, champion of violence, bearing tides raw and sweet as bitten sores. A voice from the deep whispers, in your immortality, Eris Morn, may you never cease your demand for vengeance. I refuse. In time, I will destroy this hive form alongside the rest. Its power has no hold over me. Xivu Arath will not fall to might alone. Every clash of blades invigorates her. Even now she feeds, as she has been since the first red cough, the first war song. Still, I savor every tithe. Their strength thrills me, and there are so many old debts to repay. But this is not the time. The cards speak of change. A ripple is cast. A great shadow rises from the sea of blood. Something is coming.
All right, you're here. This is serious, so listen, and listen good. Xivu Arath's forces got into the throne world. This wasn't part of the plan, but it's bad news for everybody. Savathun's been hoarding powerful creatures in those summoning pits for a long time. Partially to study, but also to keep them out of the hands of her sister. If Xivu is able to take that extra power for herself, forget it! We're all dead! You need to claim those tithes. I hate seeing it all wasted on that weirdo Eris, but it's better than the alternative. Time to get to work, hero.
I can hardly believe the tactical reports I'm writing. Vanguard forces, pursuing tithes to Hive Commune Eris Morn, have engaged Xivu Arath's troops in Savathun's throne world. We are caught between the sister gods of combat and lies, and we're trying to resurrect the one who's caused us the most suffering. Even if we win, we lose. We accepted an impossible bargain. Savathun knew we couldn't defeat Xivu Arath. No one can win a battle against war itself. Eris understands this better than any of us. I know she's working on a plan. But I must still prepare for unexpected outcomes. If her transformation is influencing her judgment, how would I know? What could I even do to keep her safe? Guardian, be careful. We've lost so much to the Hive already. We can't let them take any more.
So, you're really taking on Xivu Arath's top general. I love watching you do our dirty work. I was digging through Savathun's archives and I found this little gem from about 1 million years ago. I figured you should know what you're up against.
For the first time, the Ammonites broke us. Hordes of my brood lay rotting in tribute. And the fetter of weakness was upon us. But our enemies have fate stars of their own. Their cruel admiral abandons the battlefield to attend their frail Leviathan. They would live in peace without first killing death. We shall reward their insolence without mercy. Go forth, my brood. Devour their Leviathan. Become their extinction and make temples of their corpses.
You humans think you're so special. The Ammonites had the Traveler, a Leviathan, even their own light. Their civilization make you look like pawn scum. But they ain't around anymore. Because Xivu's brood wiped them out. Every last one. And you're next. Hey there, Twinkles. Heading back into the throne world? Gonna hope Savathun left some tips about beating Xivu you can peek at. Because from where I'm sitting, Eris doesn't have a clue. I don't think you realize how lost you'd be without Savathun's plan. Even dead, she's smarter than you. She had it all figured out years ago. Take the Traveler, seal it away, keep it hidden from the Witness, clean and easy. But there's nothing you Guardians hate more than a plan you're not the center of. So you stormed the gates. Liberated your darling Traveler, and put it exactly where the Witness knew you would. And now, here we are, with everything pretty much ruined. So go ahead, keep trying to outsmart Savathun, when she's just trying to undo all the damage you've done. The Traveler didn't make a mistake when it chose the Hive. It was fixing the mistake it made when it chose you.
Welcome back, Sloane.
It's good to be back. But from Asa's impressions, I guess this isn't a social call.
Unfortunately not. What do you know about Eris's plan?
Only that she and Asa are bound by some kind of hive ritual. I was against it, but like Asa said, sometimes we have to become our enemies to defeat them.
That's exactly what concerns me. Sloane, I need to speak with her.
No. Asa's done enough for the Vanguard. She's barely recovered from... I will speak. Bound by covenant. Tithes held between... a current...
You're helping Eris contain the energy from the tithes.
Eroding. Hollowing. Release in time. Or remain bound. Without end.
If the ritual goes on for too long, Eris will be trapped as a hive.
And Asa will be corrupted. Twisted into... something horrible. Ikora, I'll tear the tower to the ground before I let anything happen to her.
It won't come to that, Sloane. I promise.
Guardian, I have been taking time to reflect on Ikora's conversation with Sloane and Asa. I knew there would be torment in embracing the Hive and the poisonous squall of their violence. I thought myself prepared for it. I have lived long in shadow, and the shrieking horrors of the Hive would provide solace from my quotidian dreams. When I named the worms, I evoked only their resonance, but Asa responded. She is a willing and vital catalyst to empower my morph, but her pain is real and immense. My aim in this grotesque conversion was to shoulder the risk myself. But feeding from Asa's suffering, that is a line I did not think I would cross. Guardian, keep by my side so that we may soon leave these deeds behind us. I refuse to become something I am not. The worm gods extract their sustenance from between what is and what might be, between the actual and the possible. When the Hive made their ill-fated pact with these worms, they gained immortality and the power to make of the world as they willed. Few beings in this universe derive their power this way. The Queen of the Reef believes it is the same method as the Ahamkara.
The Wish Dragons were too dangerous to exist.
So is Xivu Arath. My connection to Asa is regrettable. But this was the only path towards my goal. I invoked the worms, and she answered.
And did you know that this would happen?
It was possible. As all things are possible with this kind of power. This bond has not been attempted since the worm gods made their bargain with Witness. Asa may have rejected it then, But the desire to overpower the universe with one's will is woven into her being. She is not beholden to it, not addicted or enslaved. The deep is not her nature. But I have tangled myself within this desire through the use of the staff's larva. Now I possess her power.
This could kill both of you.
That risk is ours to take.
Guardian, I just finished briefing the Hidden. My reports on Eris's connection to the proto-worm Asa did not land well. There are concerns I cannot dismiss, because I carry them as well. The actions of the Witness will have far-reaching and dire consequences. But so would allowing Eris to be consumed by the Hive. She is studying the Hive from the inside, and the tithes grant her insight, as well as strength. She may yet discover a way to defeat Xivu Arath. Eris has always been determined. Now she has incredible power to match. I trust her to guide us through this. But I fear she may not know when to stop, or even want to. The only thing we can offer her now is support. That is why I need you at her side. Continue your tithes, Guardian, for without them, we are lost.
I've got something for you. Savathun said if you ever got this far, I should play back one of her predictions. Not that you deserve it, but she's almost rooting for you.
My realm holds secrets within secrets. If they're able to use their light and dark to peel away the illusions, then they've been paying attention. Power corrupts, of course. And when those fuss-budget guardians get all twisted up in deep magics and hive rituals, that's when things really start to get weird. I can't wait to see what they're capable of.
So, there you go. A little pat on the head from Savathun. I know you Vanguard types thrive on positive reinforcement. Me? I figure Xivu's gonna squish Eris like a greasy little bug. Then we're all doomed, of course. But at least it'll be fun to watch.
Guardian, by your incursions into Savathun's spire, the Witch Queen's experimentation is revealed, and her secrets lie open to us.
Your progress is impressive. Hive magic intertwined with the light. You master it with each breach of the spire. But don't lose sight of our goal. Xivu Arath is still our greatest threat, and tithing to Eris has its limits.
We have not yet reached them. You frighten the Hive. Again and again you show them that their understanding is incomplete. You have heard me utter their invocation, Ayat. It means that which is said must be so. It is a conclusion. A halmos that marks the preceding argument as demonstrated true.
Think of it as a mathematical proof.
You are the logic that demonstrates it, and we are the truth it infers. Ayat.
She can't keep doing this. Sooner or later, it will end. Remember, you're in control of when it does.
You glowbugs are awfully trusting. I'm not too comfortable giving all this juice to your kooky little witch. The Exo Stranger warned you that Eris would be corrupted by power and turn into a tyrant. Said she's gonna rule us all. Even Savathun.
In Elsie's timeline, Eris was corrupted by stasis in the darkness. But here, Guardians wield both safely. We've proven that they can be used for good.
For your little parlor trick, sure. But this is Hive magic you're playing with. You're really gonna hand Eris godlike power and just hope she keeps it together? After you was specifically warned not to? The hubris!
Elsie said that Eris succumbed to despair, pushed over the edge by her nightmares. But the Eris I know has been tested countless times and never once faltered. Instead of being overwhelmed by her nightmares, she conquered them. Besides, our Eris has an even greater advantage. She has her friends protecting her, and that's a force strong enough to alter any timeline.
It is good to see you. I was taking a moment to prepare for the ritual. There is suffering in anticipation, but strength in its acknowledgement. And, if I am to be honest, something more. Guardian, a moment of peace awaits in the midst of the frenzy. A moment born of ugliness and violence truly earned. It is justice. So I will step again into the ritual space and be consumed by the profane chitin. When you tithe to me, I will feel the rank blood of your offerings flow down my throat. And as the vile power fills me to bursting, my thoughts will be only of the Hive Sisters, Savathun, Xivu Arath, of my plans for them. It is then I find that sweet moment, and deep beneath my hideous mask, I smile.
I gotta admit, kid, you're stacking some legit tithes. You got a real flair for brutality.
Sword logic is an ironically blunt tool, easily wielded by even the dullest mind. Though I must admit, to be guided by such simple-mindedness is liberating.
And what's your grand purpose? Peace and unity?
Vengeance. Against the Hive.
Hey, I don't blame you. Being Savathun's ghost is no treat. I'm not looking forward to bringing her back.
Not least because her absence made you de facto general of the Lucent Brood.
Leadership suits me.
For now, your time of self-glorification has nearly passed.
That's rich coming from a wannabe Hive god. Even with the Guardian's help, you're still coming up short. You're not even close to Xivu's strength yet. And you look like a screeb ready to pop.
Fear not, you osseous little toad. The path to victory lies close at hand. Even if you lack the eyes to see it.
This has to stop. Throwing yourself into danger is not going to solve our problem. We have to step back and find another way.
You would put me in the library, and I would be so glad of it that I would never set foot outside its walls. But only I can stop Xivu Arath, and nothing is won by my complacency.
Eris, this is too much for you.
I am not so frail, Ikora.
I have never thought that.
Then do not treat me as such. You know that I am capable. And now you know of what. Ikora, I have always had your trust. And you have never needed my forgiveness. Now please, I ask for your support.
Do you know what I see? A friend who takes risks because she doesn't want anyone else to. A friend who is too afraid to look away from disaster and thinks destroying herself is the only way to stop it.
I held back when Savathun took the light. I allowed others to go in my stead and take the revenge I am owed. And I made a promise to myself. I would be her ruin. We both value action in times of loss. Let me act. Let me be who I am.
I don't want you lost to this.
Then help me finish it.
I'm gonna give it to you straight, Sunbeam. I've run the numbers, and your gal Eris doesn't have what it takes. She talks a good game, but she's nowhere near strong enough to deal with Xivu. This whole idea was a long shot from the start, and you Guardians came up short. So listen, I don't plan on getting crushed by Xivu, or you, or anybody else for that matter. I'll stick around, but if things get hairy, I'm out of here. Savathun can stay dead for all I care. Doesn't make any difference to me. Maybe I can do the Finch thing. Be a free agent. Ah, don't look so surprised. Sure, your ghost would never abandon you, but there's one important difference between him and me. He's an idiot. Sorry to rain on your parade, but there's no way this ends in anything but a bloodbath. And I don't plan on getting caught in it.
Lies built on lies. The predictions of the dead witch that I would take her bargain, unseat her sister, serve her deceptions to survive the witness. That my fate is not my own. Did she learn nothing from the Traveler? Any rule can be unseated by a choice. Xivu Arath, god of battlefield filth. Savathun, god of the false and polluted. You have forgotten you were born as prey. I will remind you. Now is the time, my acolyte, my guardian. The truth is in the cards. The blood whispers Asa's mewling suffer song. The venom surge behind my eyes. This will be our final tide. Let it be glorious.
This is it, Guardian. Eris consulted her cards one last time, and departed for the oubliette in Savathun's throne world. She awaits your final tithe. Before she left, she asked me to ready something for Transmat from the tower security vault. And I agreed. Everything is on the line. Asa, the Vanguard, the fate of the Sol System and beyond. Empower her, Guardian. Give Eris the strength she needs to reshape the entire Hive Pantheon. And then, all we need to do is get out of her way.
Go forth, eater of Leviathans, scourge of the sky. Raise my sister's court, and tide the ashes to thy god.
flat.
Return to our ritual circle, my acolyte. Your mastery of spellcraft shall be our salvation. name of all the Hive have stolen, conspire with my vengeance. In the name of Crota's Bane, the Kingslayer, and the Light, in the name of Eris Morn, tithe unto me for the last time, Acolyte. I out.
Eris, I've arranged the transmat, but once she's here, we'll lose containment. We can't go back on this one.
One last atrocity.
This wasn't the agreement. Xivu is still a threat.
Do it. You will not have another chance.
Eris Morn.
Finally out of her shell. It looks good on you, honey. I am your ruin.
Savathun has not been killed by a hive since she lost her worm. Stored eons of potent lies and deceit.
All Savathun's power, plus the tithes of the Guardians.
Eris Morn is the strongest hive there has ever been.
Hear me, dead things. I let this moment pass unnamed, without song. This is the rejection of your sad legacy. Xivu Araf, agitator, fomenter, what a world cyst you have built from your conquests. No more. Now and forever, you are banished. Hayat.
Guardian, it is done. When I killed Savathun, I claimed her eons of stored power. For a moment, I surpassed even Xivu Arath herself. The macabre gifts of the Hive awaited, a pitted plain of open graves. It was magnificent. I rejected them all. Instead of challenging Xivu Arath, I severed her connection to her throne world. She is mortal now, wherever she may be. Mortal and furious. Refusing conflict split my ritual's foul call. Your tithes drained from me, and now here I stand. A woman who was briefly a god. Ikora tells me Amaru resurrected Savathun. She fled, but left Amaru here, as my ward. An irksome peace offering, for me to destroy if Savathun moves against us. But I am weary of destruction. You may continue to explore Savathun's throne world, as the Queen of Lies is never to be fully trusted. But for now, I would like only tea. Tea and silence.
Mission report number 472.622.3. Regarding our ongoing attempts to breach the extraspatial portal within the Traveler, I'm relieved to report that Eris's risky plan worked. Her final ritual banished Xivu Arath from her own throne world. The Hive God of War is vulnerable for the first time in millennia. When the time comes, we can finally force a decisive engagement against her. But first, we have to deal with the Witness. To that end, it seems the Witch Queen held up her end of the bargain. I didn't want to let her go, but Savathun offered some enticing collateral. She left Amaru in Vanguard custody. He's an odious little wretch, but an important one. As long as we control the Witch Queen's connection to the light, she'll think twice before crossing us. It went against my every instinct to let Savathun squirm away again. But we need to keep our attention on that portal. She gave us the secret to breaching it. Now, we just need to discover what form it's taken. For now, Asa is back in hibernation, and Eris is recovering. More than that, she's thriving. I was worried that Eris's obsession with the Hive would overwhelm her, but she's carrying herself with an air of confidence I haven't seen in a century. And I'm just glad to see her happy.
Oh, sister. Look at how far we've come. I was always destined to become a queen, and you a knight. Just like that facile human game you liked so much. Knights are so powerful there, agile and unpredictable. But there's only a thin line between the knights and the pawns. Do you know which side you're on? Ah, now the witness. There's a king with vision. It has an end in mind, and it knows what that means. Your game has always been the attack and trade, the thrill of victory and the agony of retreat. When the means is violence, you're happy to no end. But this game isn't fought to the last knight standing, or even the queen. It ends when the king has no moves left. Not endless fighting, but the end of fighting. Listen to me go on. You've got other problems wherever you are. You've been locked out of your own castle. Mortal for the first time in millennia. As someone recently back from the dead, I sympathize. But before you move to retaliate, just check. What will it mean to be a knight after the game is ended?
Hey, Amaru! Amaru! I heard you ain't enjoying the Vanguard's hospitality.
Stuck in this Bush League tower with all these nice ghosts. What do you think?
Sounds like someone's got a chip on their shell. I'd be bitter too if I got turned into a moth monster's leverage. Seems like a bum deal.
I kept the Lucent Hive in line for years while she tried out in the Vanguard's vault.
Feeling a little disrespected?
Please. I had my orders. I made sure that wannabe Hive kept up her end of the bargain.
That you did.
You all think you have the upper hand. But I know Savathun has a plan, and I'm here to make sure it follows through. And wait. Why are you talking to me?
No one else wants to. Can't imagine why.
You wouldn't understand. You Guardians all prance around with your ghosts like they're your best friends. No dignity, no professionalism.
You think so? Maybe someday I'll, introduce you to mine.
This is an Ahamkara egg. Uncorrupted by taken energy. Of Riven's clutch? Impossible.
We drove the Wish Dragons to extinction during the Great Hunt. Riven's eggs were destroyed, or so we thought.
Guardian, you must leave the Spire at once. Ahamkara are powerful beings. Even a newly hatched whim is dangerous.
Wait. Savathun left it here for us to find. Why?
So that it may wreak havoc.
We have to take it back to the Athenaeum.
What?
It can't stay here. Not with Savathun. There's no other course of action.
And if it hatches, what then?
Like you said, the kind of havoc only an Ahamkara whim could wreak. Initiate the Transmat Guardian. We'll make sure it's contained.
This is reckless.
I've decided to follow your example.
Guardian, do as Ikora says. I know who to speak to about this discovery. Guardian, what have you been working on in here? In Savathun's wings. She did give us what she promised. The last wish.
Ophiuchus, I need you to pull some logs from the Cryptarchy archives. It's been a while since we dealt with an Ahamkara. The Hidden will need to be briefed. Bring up any thesis papers on how the Ahamkara grant wishes. Include all hypotheses on why they seemingly misinterpret people's intentions. Our best minds have been working on this for centuries, so there should be plenty. Next, pull all the hidden reports on the Wall of Wishes. I know it makes bargaining with wish dragons less likely to backfire, but we'll need to know exactly how the Techeuns designed it. And speaking of the Dreaming City, set aside all the after-action reports from the Keep of Voices, and highlight anything to do with the lost final wish. If the path into the portal really depends on a wish dragon, knowledge will be our most potent weapon. They're powerful in ways that we don't understand, and I'm sure they have some hard feelings after the Great Hunt. We'll need to tread carefully. Ahamkara don't give second chances. So if humanity's survival rests on a wish, it'll have to be impeccable.